Okay, I would say hello and welcome to a new video. If you're wondering why my voice sounds pretty bad, that's because my throat is pretty bad right now. I've been a little sick, so this is going to be a new try to see how well my throat is holding up. I'm going to speak pretty not that loud, so don't worry about that. Okay. So we have gotten a new ban list and I wanted to check out what you can do with that. I already made one video where I played with this deck. This is the CED deck. Oh, that's the name of the deck. I'm not even playing Chaos Emperor Dragon in this deck. And it's quite a fun ride. Let's try it out and see what I'm talking about. So we are in a battle. What do we have? Our opponent is playing a 40 card deck, 15 cards in the extra deck. He's playing Virtual Worlds. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen that being played against me. I am playing a deck which is my typical deck, Pendulum stuff and so on. The problem with the current matchup, however, is my hand is pretty bad. This order is Persona Dragon is a one-off, basically not a Garnet. I'm not sure how bad this is in my hand. Normally I draw it off of the Revolution Ring if it ever comes to that, because it's a low scale. But okay, that's fine. The Time Gazer Magician is quite annoying, also a one-off. I'm playing 48 cards, but okay, it's completely fine. The Supreme King Gate Zero, also a one-off. All three of those cards I don't want to see in my starting hand. Most of the time I would like to have a starting hand which does not consist of any of those cards. Pendulum Call is a fine card, but it depends on how well his hand is. Depending on if he has an Ash Blossom, if he has, I don't know, Drone Lock. I don't care about Drone Lock, but depending on how well his starting hand matches up against mine, this is going to be quite a hard battle against him, my opponent. You are able to see that I made a little picture of the Nibiru Zone opponent. I just created a picture of that's just a picture, I guess. It's a little doodle of mine. I'm going to use that to cover up the other person's name. Most of the time it doesn't come up, but just in case, why not? Yeah, my opponent is playing Geomath Mech Final Sigma. He is playing Altamaya Tolkien, and he's playing Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I'm going to start off by going for a 1 Day of Peace, which is a good draw one card to start things off. He is also able to draw an additional card, but I guess that I can't be bothered to care about that. We are going to go for the Abyss Act, the Curtain Raiser. The Curtain Raiser is interesting. I'm going to try to activate its Pendulum effect to special summon it. I only did that so that, I have something on board. Depending on how well this next move is going to go, I have a big problem. Because I think this is going to be Ash Blossom for sure. I should have also waited with this Curtain Raiser until I put in the Time Gazer Magician. Now it's pretty hard to use it, so let's get rid of the Gate Zero. Oh, it actually worked, interesting. I want to go for, first of all, the Celestial Magician, and second of all, the Harmonizing Magician. Okay, I muted myself, or I paused the recording for a second. Sometimes I'm going to do that because of coughing and so on. He's going to go for a Chuche. He can not destroy because of Pendulum Call. I just had to read its effect. We're going to go for a Persona Dragon, and that was my stomach. Wow, let's go for Time Gazer and Harmonizing. We can go for level 7 Synchro Plays. He can go for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. And that's quite annoying. I'm going to set one card. We are going to end it here, however. Yeah, that's not quite the best position to be at. He's also going to have, he has to target a face-up card, which is interesting. If I flip this Time Pendulum graph up now, he would be able to activate his Virtual World Gate Chuche now, which is why I'm waiting for a second. I want him to activate it first, and then I'm going to activate my own card, because this Time Pendulum graph right now can pop 2 cards on the field. I think it's useless against the Geomath Mech Final Sigma, but many cards are useless against the Geomath Mech Final Sigma. He's also going to go for Constellar Ptolemy M7. This is going to be pretty dangerous now. Shuffle 2 of your banished. Oh, he doesn't have any banished virtual world cards. So now I have to think a little bit. Once per turn, target one monster on the field or graveyard and return it to hand. What monster is he going to target? Return from grave, okay. I think I'm going to do it now, better now than never. We're going to target the Celestial Magician and we're going to destroy this Constellar Ptolemy M7. And we are also going to target Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I didn't notice the fact that Chuche sends from Banish to deck, meaning he doesn't have any materials to activate with Chuche, which is why I should activate this card now. He can go for the Emergency Teleport. Let's see where this is going. The Emergency Teleport is going for a Maihime Lulu. Okay. Still everything should be in the game. I am still not very versed with playing against Virtual World or playing with Virtual World, so I don't exactly know what he can do from this position. It depends on his hand really, but since he activated Emergency Teleport and went for the Maihime Lulu, I expect that there is more to it than just it being a generic level 3, because normally if he didn't have any other, if he weren't in a specific situation, I would guess my opponent would be going for Ghost Bell, and Ghost Bell is Psychic level 3 tuner monster which destroys things that are on board, that activate their effects. That would have been what I had expected to happen. However, he went for Hime Lulu, so I should read his card a little bit. If his card is in your hand, you can activate this effect, okay. But that doesn't work right now, so I don't know why he went for my Himelulu. Well, we lost connection, so I guess this is a win for me. But okay, we're going to let this window be open, because while I'm talking I might just as well have a little bit of music in the background. So, this is the deck that I've been using for today's battle. It's a nice deck, it is quite consistent. I put in Monkey Board, which is pretty nice. The deck hasn't benefited at all from the other changes, but Monkey Board does come up pretty often, because once I cycle through Skullcrabbat Joker, I will always go for Monkey Board. There are 3 ways of going for Monkey Board. First is just drawing it, hard drawing it. The second would be, I have to plug in my PC, by the way. The second would be drawing it off of Skullcrabbat Joker. There are 3 ways of drawing it with Skullcrabbat Joker. And lastly, there's a way of drawing it with Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer has to special summon itself and destroy up to 2 cards I control, and for each card destroyed I get 1 Performer Pendulum card. So I'm able to go for special summoning him by Pendulum Summoning, of course, but I'm also able to go for it by going for Chronograph Sorcerer, which is a very good card. So destroy one of my cards, go for Chronograph Sorcerer, go for Pendulum Sorcerer. It comes up quite often because Pendulum Sorcerer is also searchable by Duelist Alliance, so there are quite a few synergies in this deck. I'm playing a lot of Dragon Pendulum monsters Luster because it's good for Ignista, which is good for getting rid of most cards in the game, except some minor things. Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, which is a good discard fodder. I'm playing Coin Dragon, which is a nice thing to protect my dragons from being destroyed by card effects. I have some dragons like Ignista, I have Meteor Burst Dragon, I have Savage. Sometimes it comes up, I also have Vortex Dragon. And in my side I also have Aether and Sloth and Gurlief. Sloth and Gurlief for negating special summons or not being able to special summon from the extra deck. And Aether banishing 1 card on the field, targeting 1 monster on the field and then banishing it. It's a nice form of removal, so I'm playing it in the side. Some forbidden stuff, that's the deck. However, I'm going to change decks now. This right here is a deck that I've created which also plays Monkey Board at 1, but it also plays a lot of the OCG cards which are yet to come to the TCG. So it plays Performapal Ores Button, Performapal Ores Valet, it plays Performapal Gentrude, and it plays Performapal Lady Angie. And it plays Extra Pendulum, and lastly it plays Beyond the Pendulum, aka Worse Electromite. It's worse Electromite, but it's alright. It's just barely alright. Yeah, this side, I think this Contact C is pretty funny. I'm trying to play it because of mostly Despia, to be honest. Because I don't know any Despia fusion monster which needs an Earth monster to special summon. So he would be locked out of fusion summoning if I play this card. The only card he can summon out by going for that is Guardian Chimera. That's the only card he normally plays, or my opponent would normally play to get rid of that card, or maybe some Fright Fear card that needs some Earth Tuner, I don't know. But I haven't really looked into it too much. It doesn't look like they are generic enough. Yeah, so let's try out this deck. See you in a jiffy. Do you say that? I don't know. See you later. Okay, we are back and we are going to start off by going for Performer Pal Recasting. Going for 5 Rainbow Magician and Gentruder, which is going to draw us an additional card and we are able to shuffle through our deck a little bit. Next, let's go for Pendulum Call. We are going to grab ourselves a copy of. This is going to be a little hard for me. Harmonizing Magician, I guess. And we are also going to grab ourselves an Earth Dragon. I don't know whether or not this was the best play. Let's go for Order's Balance. We are going to try to activate its effect. Pendulum Call already activated. He goes for Ghost, Ogre and Snowbell. I think that's better for me, to be honest. Let's go for the valid effect. We are able to set it into a Pendulum Scale. Next, let's special summon Harmonizing Magician. Activate its effect. Go for Earth Dragon. We are going to summon Baron de Fleur. Set one card, and that is it. Nothing too special, it's mostly the same thing I normally do. If he did not go spell the valid, I would have been able to go for something special, which would be Artifact Durandal. Sometimes most of the time I'm able to go for that, and that's quite nice against some hand traps, so that's why I'm playing it. He plays a Kaiju, okay, he plays Gamma Seal. He also plays Raffion the Time Lord. I am going to level Resolve. I don't really care about 2200 damage. And we have another chance, to be honest. This is completely fine by me. So, next one. We are going to activate Time Pendulum Graph in end step to destroy this set card. And also send to the graveyard the other one. He activated another Ghost Ogre. Well, sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't. Well, this is going to be a little annoying. I can go for this Old Ice Butler, but it doesn't really help me, so let's go for Gamma Seal defense position and our turn. He's going to go for Scapegoat. So does he also have an OTK strategy or something? I don't know. Right now he might have with the cheap tokens. Normally the downside of Raffion or the Time Lords in general is that they can only normal summon themselves and they're pretty useless otherwise. But if he's able to go for a Galaxy Serpent, that's a 6, so he can go for 6-star, he can go for Crystal Hacker Firebreaks, then go for another card, which could be another Galaxy Serpent for all we know. And he's going to go for one effect, very interesting. Next he can go for example, Formula Synchron, and then a level 4 Synchro monster, which I don't know which one he wants to go for, and then Access Code Talker. That's a possibility. It is a possibility. Yeah, let's see where this is going. He goes for Celine directly, okay, he has one spell card, 2, 3, 4, 5, it makes sense, 5 spell counters, okay. Activating the Celine effect, he can bring back the Effect Veiler, yes. The Effect Veiler is a tuner, so he can Synchro Summon now, he can go for Formula Synchron. No, he's going to go for IP Masquerena, interesting. Is he trying to go for Borderland Dragon? No, I don't think he's going to do that. He might go for Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is a pretty good choice right here. He doesn't know that I have the Order Fusion in my hand, which means I can get rid of the Access Code Talker and then some. But hey, I mean, he doesn't know that. He can destroy 2 of my cards, which is going to be the Earth Dragon and the Order is Valid, I think. Because otherwise that wouldn't make any sense. He wouldn't be able to get in damage, he would be able to destroy my one card, but he can do that anyways. Yep, he's going to get rid of my Pendulum Scales. That's the only logical thing. It's also the wrong thing to do in this position, but he doesn't know that. Because I had to hard draw Order's Fusion, so let's activate the Audace Fusion. If he has something to negate this, I am going to be in quite a bad position. He did have something to negate this. I Solemn Judgment, so it seems like I lost this one. It definitely does seem like I lost this one. He can also still get rid of his Tuning Magician by getting rid of his Selene in the graveyard. So if he has something with 500 or more attack, I lose on this turn. I would say that's more than 500 attack. Well, GG. So, to say some finishing words, what I like about this deck is that you didn't see that, but this deck is really good at cycling through cards. I'm still experimenting with some of the distribution, what cards I play at 1, 2, and 3, but this card can really cycle through cards with Recasting. It can cycle with, where is it, Pendulum Sorcerer. It can cycle with Astrograph Sorcerer to some degree, with Wisdom Eye Magician, Gentrude if you do something right with Lady Lagrange. Lady Lagrange itself can cycle. The Audace Valet doesn't cycle, but it more so gives you protection. What do I mean by protection? If you go for Audace Valet normal summon, you can send to the graveyard Audace Butler, which means you can go for Artifact Durandal, which means you Nibiru proof to some degree, a little bit. But yeah, this is a nice card which I'm using in this deck specifically because the Audace cards are legal in the OCG. Of course, in the OCG, the Monkey Board isn't legal. I think this card at 1 is fine. I think at 3 it might actually be a little too broken because this deck might be too consistent then. It already is really consistent, even though, again, if you have the right numbers, I think it is really, really consistent. Monkey Board is a really good addition to this. But pure Performer Pal does work, so I could take out all the cards like Pendulum Call, get rid of this, get rid of the Star Pendulum Graph, Time Pendulum Graph, get rid of all those cards, and the deck would still work, in my opinion. One line that's gone would be, I should keep playing Celestial because it's a Performer Pal with a high scale. I don't actually have to, but still. Yeah, this deck would still work because it still has a lot of things that it can go for. It can go for the Audace Fusion, which is 1 negate. It can go for the Audace Pendulum Graph Dragon, which is 1 spell negate. It can go for the Audace Gravity Dragon, which is the card that you might now know, Masquerade. The old form of Masquerade, basically. This card is also a torrential... Nah, not a torrential. Giant Trunade on your opponent's side. Well, it's a nice card. That's what I want to say. You have extra Pendulum. You have Beyond the Pendulum. You can Pendulum summon 2 times in a turn sometimes. Quite often. It comes up quite often. But still, this deck is really consistent. I like the fact that this is possible. And I want to see all those cards in the TCG so that I can talk about this more. So I think I've rambled on enough, and I'm going to say have a nice day and goodbye.